Evs Resources Private Limited.
Welcome students to an enriching learning journey ahead with Woodapple Resources. Class 5 EVS. I'm your teacher Yug. Here are your friends.
I am Whoopi.
I am happy.
Dear students, today I am going to teach you Chapter 6. Health is Wealth. Welcome class. Let's start with a quick activity. Take a look at these two pictures of people selling pani puri. Which one would you choose to buy from and why?
I would choose the one on the left because the cart looks cleaner and more hygienic. The one on the right looks a bit dirty, so it might not be safe to eat from there.
Right. The first cart is uncovered, attracting flies, and the seller isn't wearing gloves. The second cart is covered, and the seller has worn gloves, making it safer to buy from him. Always choose food vendors who prioritize cleanliness and hygiene. Today, we are going to delve into the fascinating world of diseases and learn about the various types and their prevention methods. But first, let's start with a story. Neil and his friends were having a great time playing in the park, and suddenly they noticed their friend Jay wasn't feeling well. They quickly took him home, where Dr. Gupta was called to examine him.
Now, Dr. Gupta will guide us about diseases so you can take care of yourself and stay healthy.
Hello children. Have you ever wondered why we sometimes get sick? Well, it's because of disease. A disease is a condition that makes our body feel unwell and unable to function properly. It can affect different parts of our body and be caused by various factors. Diseases can be broadly categorized into two types, non-communicable and communicable.
बीमारियां हमारे शरीर को अस्वस्थ और सामान्य तौर पर कमज़ोर बना देती हैं। इनको दो बड़े पार्ट्स में बताया गया है, नॉन कम्युनिकेबल डिजीज और कम्युनिकेबल डिजीज।
Non-communicable diseases are those that do not spread from person to person. They often result from lifestyle factors such as a poor diet, a lack of exercise, and genetics. Inadequate nutrients in the diet, including carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, and minerals, can also contribute to these diseases. Also, malfunctioning means a part of the body does not work properly, can lead to non-communicable diseases. Conditions like diabetes, heart disease, and cancer are examples of non-communicable diseases.
नॉन कम्युनिकेबल बीमारियां वो होती हैं जो एक व्यक्ति से दूसरे व्यक्ति तक नहीं फैलती। ये अक्सर लाइफस्टाइल के कारण होती हैं, जैसे कि खराब डाइट, एक्सरसाइज की कमी और जेनेटिक प्रभाव। आहार में पोषक तत्व की कमी से भी इन बीमारियों का कारण बन सकता है। इसके अलावा डायबिटीज, दिल की बीमारी और कैंसर नॉन कम्युनिकेबल डिजीज के उदाहरण हैं।
Communicable diseases, on the other hand, are those that can be transmitted from one person to another. These include infectious diseases caused by pathogens such as bacteria, virus, fungi, and parasites. Examples include the common cold, flu, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS.
How do these diseases spread?
Great question. Communicable diseases spread through various means. For example, when a sick person coughs, sneezes, or spits, the germs are released into the air. When a healthy person breathes in this air, germs enter his body and make him sick. This is how diseases like the common cold and COVID-19 are transmitted through the air.
What about contaminated food and water?
Food and water can also be sources of germs. Germs can come from dust, dirt, cockroaches, and houseflies contaminating the food and water we consume. Diseases such as diarrhea, typhoid, jaundice, and cholera are caused by eating contaminated food and drinking contaminated water.
Can diseases spread through direct contact?
Yes, diseases can spread when a healthy person comes into direct contact with an infected person, their clothing, or items used by them. This is how diseases like conjunctivitis and polio are transmitted.
What role do insects play in spreading diseases?
Insects can act as carriers of germs, spreading diseases when they bite or come into contact with humans. For example, mosquitoes can spread diseases like malaria, chikungunya, and yellow fever. But don't worry, kids, we can fight back against these pesky germs by washing our hands regularly, keeping our surroundings clean, and getting vaccines. By taking these simple steps, we can stay healthy and strong. Vaccines are like superheroes for our bodies. They help us build immunity against specific diseases by giving us a tiny dose of the disease-causing organism. This helps our bodies learn how to fight off the real thing if we ever come into contact with it.
But why do we get vaccines when we are babies?
Babies are given vaccines shortly after birth to protect them from diseases right from the start. Vaccines are like BCG, OPV, and hepatitis B are given to newborns to give them a head start on staying healthy.
वैक्सीन हमारे शरीर के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी होते हैं। वे हमें बीमारियों से लड़ने में मदद करते हैं। बच्चों को जन्म के तुरंत बाद ही वैक्सीन दी जाती है ताकि उन्हें शुरुआती समय से ही बीमारियों से बचाव मिल सके।
Dr. Gupta, can you tell us more about malaria?
Yes, malaria, an old foe of humankind. It's caused by a tiny germ called the malarial parasite, which lives in the blood of someone who's infected. But here's the tricky part. These germs are spread from person to person by a little insect called the female Anopheles mosquito. Mosquitoes have three main body parts: the head, thorax, and abdomen. On their heads, they have two antennae and three pairs of segmented legs. These help them sense their surroundings and move around. Their eyes are also located on their heads, allowing them to see and detect movement. Now, the long needle-like structure you see is called the proboscis. It's like a straw that the female mosquito uses to suck blood from humans and animals. These tiny insects may seem harmless, but they are actually carriers of several dangerous diseases like malaria, chikungunya, yellow fever, and dengue.
Do you know the medicine used to treat malaria, quinine, is extracted from the bark of the cinchona tree, which is found in South America.
मलेरिया एक छोटे कीड़े से होता है जो मादा एनोफ्लिस मच्छर के द्वारा इंसान से इंसान को फैलता है। ये मच्छर बीमारियों का कैरियर होते हैं, जैसे मलेरिया, चिकनगुनिया, येलो फीवर और डेंगू। मलेरिया के इलाज के लिए प्रयोग की जाने वाली दवा क्विनीन सिंकोना के पेड़ के छाल से निकाला जाता है, जो कि साउथ अमेरिका में पाया जाता है।
Do you know that mosquitoes go through an incredible journey in their lives? First, they start as tiny eggs laid in stagnant water. Then they hatch into larvae, which are like tiny, wriggly creatures swimming in the water. After that, they become pupa, kind of like a coma shape still in the water. Finally, they emerge as adult mosquitoes buzzing around in the air. And guess what? Only the female mosquitoes bite us to get blood for their babies.
Why do they lay eggs in water?
Female mosquitoes lay their eggs in water because that's where their babies or larvae develop and grow. Ponds, puddles, and even stagnant water are common places where you will find mosquitoes' eggs. It's essential to be careful, especially when it comes to your health. Look at your friend. He is showing symptoms like a high fever, shivering, a headache, and nausea. These could be signs of malaria. We'll need to wait for his blood test report to be confirmed.
Neil and his friends didn't waste time. They quickly got together and made a plan to clean up the park. They worked hard to pick up all the trash and made the place beautiful again. While they were cleaning, they realized they needed more stuff to make the park better. So they decided to put their money together. They all chipped in some money from their piggy banks, and even some parents helped out. The kids were all together. They pooled their money and talked to the adults in charge to make sure their plan could happen. When they presented their plan to the adults, everyone was impressed. They said they would help out too, and they thanked the kids for taking charge. Finally, the park was clean and safe again. Neil and his friends were happy. They could play without worrying about getting sick. They knew their hard work had really paid off. Today we learned diseases can be categorized into non-communicable and communicable types. Non-communicable diseases like diabetes and heart disease don't spread from person to person and often result due to lifestyle factors. Communicable diseases such as the common cold and COVID-19 can be transmitted from one person to another through various means. Communicable diseases can spread through the air, contaminated food and water, direct contact and insect bites. Preventive measures like good hygiene, clean environments, and vaccinations can help reduce the spread of communicable diseases. Malaria is caused by malarial germs transmitted by female Anopheles mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are carriers of diseases like malaria, chikungunya, yellow fever, and dengue. The life cycle of a mosquito includes 4 stages: egg, larvae, pupa, and adult. Quinine is used to treat malaria. It is extracted from the bark of the cinchona tree. Community efforts like cleaning up parks and raising funds can bring a positive impact on public health and safety. Thank you for joining us. Keep learning and exploring with Wood Apple Resources.